Hello, welcome back. So it's good to be here Friday afternoon at 2:30 again. Todd Rains from Woodturning Tool Store. And today, again, Friday as usual, all things wood turning. So we are talking about all things wood turning, tools, equipment, processes, and techniques, wood materials. And this series of live streams is shop tips and jigs series. So I think we're week 5 into 8 weeks of this. So we're going to carry along as to where we are. I'm going to have to change a couple of things here because this is not really a good view for me in terms of what I'm looking at. So let me pop that back up there, and I'll just leave it over there. So yeah, it's good to be here again, and weather's holding out, although we're supposed to have a stormy weekend here in North Texas. So good to have folks here. I see some people popping in, so it's good. James, good to have you here. Thank you for joining. How you doing? Hopefully everything is going well. And Chris, good to have you here. Yeah, happy Friday. Excellent. And Philip from across the pond. Thank you for joining, Philip. Appreciate it. And I appreciate the emails, Philip. We chatted about last week about how to hold things. What we're talking about. Yeah, just trying to remember the discussion. I know we ended up talking about Jacob's chucks and holding things in the headstock. And I have a Jacob's chuck that has a threaded end in it, and I use a drawbar for that. And then Philip had a Jacob's chuck without an arbor on it that he grips in a chuck, which works well too. So all kinds of solutions for holding tiny things on the headstock. So let's take a look at that now. There's the lovely transition. And so yeah, we've got what are we talking about today? So today we are talking about, well, let's first back up. Last week we talked about disc sanders, I think. And we actually made one. And at the end there, I tried to cut the paper off with a skew. But it went to show me that you can use these for sharpening tools or dulling tools, in my case, the way it was. So, but this is, if you don't have a sharpening system, you can create a series of these if you wished and sharpen on the lathe. I don't do that. I don't have enough practice or use of doing that. So, but I'm sure there's people that do that as well. So it's always a good thing to try out as well. So another use for these things, make a few of them, set up for different sharpening techniques, set your rigs up, and you can sharpen on the lathe. So let's see. So we talked about disc sanders last week, and today we're talking about drum sanders. So a couple of sanding solutions that I've used in the past. So here is my original drum sanding stick. I do this between centers. I'm going to just move a couple of things here. And why these sanding things? Because it's something I use a lot, and something I wanted to kind of talk about and show. For lack of anything else to show. So this is the original one. This is a piece of oak, scrap oak I had. Just simply wrap some 1-inch wide sanding paper around it, just using staples in this case. And my newer one, which I couldn't find the stapler, I ended up using finishing nails. So whatever works and stuff. So I do use the same centers doing these things. I got a 4-prong center that goes into this end, and my standard tailstock center here that goes under this end. And I do the same thing with this one. So I use the same T for tailstock end, H for headstock end. So those go in there and they kind of seat down into the right place. Then, oops, tighten up if I can. And then those get on there, and then you end up, I say this, and it's not working out for me. This usually is not a problem going in. Well, that is unusual. I've not had this problem before. To do that right end, yeah. Tailstock, headstock. Anyway, as we get it in there, we'll see that they're simple enough to make. Oak dowel, wrap some sandpaper around it, and away you go. Well, I must have moved that off center or something at some point. I'm going to have to recenter that end. That's strange. Let's see how this one centers up. That one's got deeper hole or teeth marks on that end. So yeah, that one centers up nicely. Not a problem there. Good Lord. Anyway, so how can you make these? And if you, I've got a couple of pieces. I kind of prepped a little bit ahead of time, just 5-10 minutes before. Well, 15 minutes before this started. And I'm not going to complete the whole thing, I don't think, because my spray glue, as we saw last time, is not really the best right now. But if you have any sort of cardboard cores, those would work. I saved a few from different things. So here's a small one. These are from the, if you ever do those food saver things, you get the roll of food saver stuff. It's really hard, stiff cardboard. It's about 1 inch in diameter. So this, I think, is about a perfect size for what I like to use them for. And it's a good question. What do I use them for? So this one is about the same size. So this would be a good substitute. And ended up turned a couple of plugs. Plug one end. That can go in the tailstock. Take a chuck holding the other side. Plug that on there. And you've got glue some sandpaper on that, which I have right here. And that would make a great sanding drum. One of the things that I've used these for is my piston boxes. I do that demo quite a bit for clubs. And the way the piston box opens up, and what if I can quickly find a photo and drop it in here for a second. It's, you create a tube, a wooden tube, and then you hollow out the inside or drill out the inside, plug the tube up so you can't get into it, and then you open it up by sanding through the side. So let me just quickly grab a photo. Come on, open up. Sorry, just trying to work the old mouse here. And 1 second. I'm going to get back to chat here in a few minutes. That's the photo I wanted, and I'll drop that in there. Turn that on. So there you can see the piston box. I do a whiskey barrel style, but you see the opening and the piece lying down, and that is simply sanded on the side of this guy, and I can't see what I'm pointing at. So take the barrel and sand it on the side. It creates that hollow that you see in the opening. So that's one way to open the piston boxes. The other thing I use it for is shaping my spatulas. So if I dare to do this, let's see. I'm looking closely at you because I'm looking at my monitor, so bear with me a second. And I've got that one. Where's a good close-up of that one? There, that one. That one is there. So you see the blade there, it's curved. It's really not a great view of it, but that curve is created by sanding on the sanding drum. And I wonder if I have one of those blanks. I do. So using this blank, or you cut out the, oh, there it is, the spatula shape, cut out the curve, and then you can sand that curve on a drum sander. So that I actually don't use this or this other one. These two I do for hard stuff because they're kind of hard surfaces. I use a softer padded one, has some give to it for doing the spatulas. And so one of the things you could do with this kind of tube is wrap some foam around it, or some mouse pad, or I've got some packing foam for packing dishes when you move and stuff. That would work as well. But I like a bigger diameter for doing the spatulas. So here is a large tube. It's fairly large in diameter. This is actually from a roll of craft paper that I use for shipping things, and it's a fairly thick wall, about an eighth inch thick, nice and stiff. So this would be a good size for some gentle curves like that. It's already got a couple of cores on the end. You could probably stick those between cone centers and it would do all right, but it might not be very well centered. So you might want to make some wooden centers for these guys as well. So repurposing things like these is a great way to kind of make homemade jigs. So I do keep some of those. I've got a couple of these tubes around. But one of the things I've done is, I don't know if I can take that out, is I've found another tool to do my drum sanding for the spatulas. And I maybe have shown this before in the live stream. I don't know, but we're going to show it again. So I'm going to put on an adapter on here. This is going to take it down to 1x8. And you notice me using my handle system all the time. If we've got an 8-inch tube here, it's foam gripped. The foam's on nice stout aluminum tubing. We've got connectors and we got adapters. So the handle system is a modular type system. You can grow it with 4-inch sections. So I can have a 8-inch handle, a 12-inch handle, or a 16-inch handle. And so I developed that a couple of years ago. It's been selling well. I found just when I was starting to prep for doing this spatula project that this would make a great drum sander. So everything on the modular handle, and this is a modular handle, foam gripped, wrapped with Velcro, sticky back Velcro on the one side. All the threading is 1x8, so I have a little spacer here that I use on this guy because my thread depth is not quite the same. So that thread's on there. We're going to put a rubber chucky device on this end. And this one should, let's see if that one's going to fit. That'll work all right. I have a pointy one that I use most. And this just gives it a bit more stability. So that works out well. And then I use Abernet. I've cut it at an angle here. And I've got 80 grit and 120. So I'll put that on the 80 grit just because we're going to test this out. Move the handle, tool rest out of the way. This kind of wraps. I always got to figure this out. It's never quite, not quite. It's pretty close. That's got it. And it's just like wrapping a drum sander. Then you got that. Get some dust collection up close to it. Turn it in reverse so that it's pulling away from me. And that sounds very well. So if I switch to wide camera, you can see I have pretty good control over how that sands. And I can change the grits very easily. And it gives me that little bit of cushion that I want with kind of sanding those sort of, conforming shapes or easing edges. So that is kind of, that's what I was going to show today. So let me, Lee Beatles is here. Thanks for joining, Lee. I appreciate it. Oops, I skipped one. Nick is here. Thanks for joining, Nick. We got John from Norway. Thank you for joining. I'm catching up on these. So Cindy's here. Thank you for joining, Cindy. Appreciate it. And love that idea. I might need to buy one of your handles. Yeah, I know they're handy. They're multi-purpose. So I use it for this. I use a short one with, since we're on this, I might as well talk about it a little bit here. And let me just, easy way to take those off. This is a 4-inch section with a 1/4-inch adapter, and that will take your sanding mandrels. Let's tighten that up. There's my and then you've got a little sanding for doing. I've actually got a couple of demo bowls I do need to sand, so with these in place, you can now take your bowl. I'll leave that in forward and sand your bowl this way. So if you got the bottom you're trying to get off, you can use that end to sand the bottom. I usually got a nub, sand that down a little bit with, or grind it down a little bit with a carving tool. Well, yeah. So when I developed the handle, I just thought, well, why not make a 1x8? And at the time, I had no idea of these uses, but this is the kind of thing that you kind of think about when you're looking at solutions for problems. And so it just kind of was really quite handy. So yeah, very happenstance sort of circumstance with making that handle do multiple functions. So yeah, back to this one. Since I've got this 1x8 adapter on here, I had this guy set up on that chuck. So this is scrap left over from one of my piston boxes, and I just basically turned it down to fit the tube, and just chucked it in the chuck. It just happened to fit perfectly. So this is probably how I'll leave this one. I'll leave that end fat. So I would end up gluing that on there, and then on the other end, I basically had another leftover piece. I rounded it out, put this tenon on it, took that tenon, mounted in a smaller chuck, and took this end off, and just put a point center there so I could find center. And that'll be my tailstock end. So when I put that up and on there together, if I just widen back out or shimmy over a little bit, I got to take the rubber chucky off. And, oops, wrong place. Didn't mean to slam it that hard in there. Find the center. Not going to tighten it up too tight, but power on, that would help. But that would make a good sanding drum once you get some spray glue. I've got some 80 grit here, and wrap that on there. I might just do a straight strip like this, or you could do the diagonal thing, or you could use the 1-inch strips and go diagonal. However you want to glue your sandpaper on there. Or like I said, put a rubber interface or a foam interface, get some Velcro or hook and loop material. Where is that? 2-inch hook and loop fastener stuff. This is fantastic stuff. So we've got the A side and the B side. I tend to put most of your sandpapers, the Abernet in particular, needs the hooks on there, because this is the loops on this side. So put the hooks on the sanding device, as you see here, and then that will stick nicely. Yeah, they get this hook and loop stuff off of Amazon. I think that's where I got it. Strenco, Amazon. So anyway, that's a great shop tip. The Velcro stuff. I haven't put any on for a sandpaper sticking pad. Some people have done that on the front of their lathes and stuff. Just haven't gone that far yet. Okay, so yeah, any sort of other thoughts here? I don't know that I'll finish this off here today. I might, let me see. I will show this. I'm one known as hoarding things. It's hard for me to throw things out when I know there might be a use for them at some point. So we've got some packing material I've saved from, I don't know, years ago, but it's nice, thick, open cell foam. It's not really closed cell foam, but it's got a good sponge to it. This is probably 3/16, maybe almost a 1/4 inch thickness. So that would be good on here. as a undercoating. If you want a thinner stuff, this is probably 3/32 thick, and it's much thinner. So if you want something a bit stiffer, that would probably work. This is when you go to Home Depot and you get the moving supplies, that little foam that goes between your plates and stuff for packing kitchen. That's what this is. So those are a couple of good things to keep around and reuse. Yeah, so love to hear what you guys kind of maybe if you have different ideas of what you might use a drum sander for. You could certainly use it to if you got stock that's oxidized, like this cherry board, trying to see what the true color is. You can remove the oxidization, or if you got a piece that's not chainsaw cut and you just want to see what it looks like, a little bit of time on the drum sander would do it. Otherwise, like I said, putting nice curves or those kind of things. You could probably even do some pretty rough flute sanding with it. I don't know. I've never done that, but depending on the size of this guy, you might be able to get your turning up to the side and turn some in. Wonder if I want to try that. I do want to understand why my other sanding stick won't fit, but I'll do that afterwards. We shall take any Q&As you guys have, so please feel free to ask. In the meantime, I will again remind everybody about Woodturners Retreat, end of July, July 31st. So go to woodturnersretreat.com for tickets. 6 of us are going to be turning there. Myself, Jeff Hornig, Kate Bolger, Joanne Savageau, Chris Parker, and Stuart Farini. So it'll be a good event. It's a couple of weeks after the virtual symposium, and I'm hiding in the back there. Let me get big there for a second. So check that out. I would also say tomorrow, I am surprised Cindy's here. Good to have you here, Cindy, but you got your hands full. Tomorrow you're doing a box turning class / demo. So that's a 4-week thing. I don't think you need to join all 4 weeks, but maybe you can let me know. So that starts tomorrow. So check that out. Cindy's always trying different things. And this is kind of a new thing, sort of a 4 weeks, staggered times throughout the next couple of months to turn different style of boxes. So you can turn along with her or watch and learn, or turn and learn. That'll be a fun thing to look at. And then let's see. What else is happening? Anybody else got events that they want to announce? Should I say yes? You can join one session at a time or all 4. Excellent. So good to know. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, challenge yourself. Yeah, I will try to make one of those. Is it ukemi? Is that how you pronounce the first box? I don't know. I'm probably butchering it, but sort of a calabash style box, I think, from what I understand. Little mushroom sort of shape in a way, a figurative mushroom sort of shape. So yeah, and then the Woodturners Retreat, I'm going to be doing a sphere turning, and then I'm not sure what the others are doing. You have to check out the webpage. I forget what the other guys are doing. So, yeah, let's see. That's all I can think of right now. Let me show you what I had to come out and clean up this morning. I was actually turning for fun yesterday. I was trying a few different things with the video system here, but this is the little platter I've been working on. Let me go. So this is a crotch piece of Bradford pear, and it's got a nice crotch pattern here. So I did some dyeing, some black and some red, a little bit of yellow to make some highlights in here and stuff like that. So hope to finish this off soon. It's a little, just a little plate. I got to turn the back side yet, but yeah, that's going to look kind of nice. I think Shelley will like that one. So looks cool. Umeki. Okay, Umeki. Let's see. I think that's all I really have for today. It's kind of a short one. I didn't really plan this one out that well, but if you guys have ideas for shop jigs or tips, please send them in. And I think let me see, not that one. And I look at our schedule here. We are going to be, looking at next week, magnets, all about magnets and what we're going to do with magnets. So that'll be a good one. I use them everywhere, different sort of things. And so if you have any other shop tips or jigs, throw them in the comments here or send me an email, and we'll try and talk to those as well, either next week or the following couple of weeks. I've got TBD or to be determined on the last week, so it's going to be an open session, and we'll kind of figure out what we're going to be doing there. So other than that, I think I might call this one short today. I don't really have much else going on. Sorry, getting back to the all right screen there. So let's put up this banner, kind of end the show a little bit short today, but and let me do this one. I've got, wrong one. Oh, I do have, so I've been playing around a little bit with my backgrounds. So let me put that on there. There's my ending screen. And so this is some of the other things I was doing in the last couple of days, is playing with some photo backgrounds. So very dramatic sky, a little corrected from this one. Some of these are pictures from when I was out in San Francisco a couple of years ago to visit my daughter. This is a close-up view of some weird plants out there. There's the coastline. This is I can't remember the name of the park, just outside of San Francisco. And there's a field of that stuff. The windmill, this is at, it's not Central Park, it's called, I can't remember the name of the park there, but it's in that Central Park or main park in downtown San Francisco. And then blue sky, in case I wanted to have a sky behind me, and then I can be in the forest. I think that is it. That's a screen capture of me in the forest. So just before I was playing around. So yeah, that's it for me. I think we're going to end the live stream there. So again, thanks to all of you for joining. We'll be back next week, Friday 2:30, and hopefully I'll have a bit more material for the next one. So until then, have a great weekend, and hope you all have a safe weekend, enjoyable. We'll have fun here. So we'll see you next Friday. Bye for now.